Okay, Dustin, the only way I can explain this to you is by a video. So, here's a close-up of the bag that the 3 cables came in. RSB CF04. They were all, this is one set. Now I'm going to show you why that's wrong. Let me zoom out. Okay, you can see they're the same length. The cable, overall cable length is not a problem. The problem, and the front cable to the emergency brake up near the driver's seat is okay. It's these sheath lengths, and I'll show you why. So I'm just going to measure it approximate because I don't know where you're measuring from, but I'll go from one end of metal to the other. It's about what you said. Let's see, you said 27.875. Okay, that's about what it is. And the overall length, as you say, is 57. Again, this is just an approximate. It's about 57. So that's all good. Now I'm going to stop the camera and I'm going to show you why. So I'm going to use a simulation. The rubber hose is going to simulate when I get over there. See that rubber hose hanging? I'm going to go over there in a second. That's going to simulate this sheathing, nothing else. And this will explain it perfectly why these don't work. Okay, so now we're on the driver's side of the car. This rubber hose is the simulation. This is where the sheath ends. It ends right there, and the rest of the cable comes out and goes that way. So it's going to be the same on both sides. Now on this caliper here, I'll move the camera. I'm going to have to stop and start it. So now we're going from the spot that I showed you, and then it goes in there. That's the end of the sheath. So I marked it on this tube. That's the length. I'll take this back over to the table. So you notice I'm on the driver's side. The axle is, I don't know if you can see the axle. Let me get a better view. Let me back out of here. On this driver's side axle, the spring is on the engine side. When we go to the other side, where that sheath ends is going to be on the opposite side. And the reason they did that is the shocks are offset. The shocks aren't in right now. So on this side, the shock is back here, and on the other side, the shock is there. That's why they move the spring from one side to the other. Now I'm going to stop. I'm going to show you the other side. Again, this is the driver's side. You can see it, the hose is right there. That's the length. Okay, I'm not even going to stop it. So now I'm going to go. Now I'm on the passenger side. Need the light over here. You can see that it's on the back. Now if I was to take the hose out and run it through the same way as I showed on the other side, you can see that this spring was over here. I might be talking too much. I have to check this viewfinder. This inlet where it goes in is over here. It's like 12 inches difference. So this one has to be longer The one on the passenger side and the one on the driver's side has to be shorter. There's no physical way that the sheathing can be the same. It's impossible. And I don't know if you can see it, but here's the shock mount right here. So they had to make these brackets are opposite. That's why they did it. So now I'm going to stop it. I'm going to go over to the table with that rubber hose. Okay, so I got a sledgehammer on the end of the rubber hose because the rubber hose wants to curl up. But I'll zoom in on the one end. This is the end that I'm zooming in on is where it goes through the frame, where you saw the rubber hose ending. Okay, you can see it's these are the old hoses. This was all that was left. Someone had cut them. So it lines up right there. I'll zoom out. Here's my mark. This just is, even though 3 inches doesn't seem like much, because of the springs and everything, it just won't fit. But the real telltale is, again, the offset in the springs, because it's behind the axle. I said I guessed it was about a foot. Yeah, it's a foot, because this one is 3 inches shorter, and this one is 9 inches longer. So again, that's where it should be. When I measure from mark to mark, it's 12 inches. 9 and 3 is 12. So the question is, what is the length? Well, the length you sent me says 27.875. So it's going to be 3 inches shorter. And the other one has to be, again, starting at 27.875. It's going to be 9 inches longer. These must be for drum brakes. That's the only answer. Because drum brakes both come in at the same spot. Now if we go, now I'm going to go back to the box, the cover of the box. I'll just tilt it up and we back out a little bit. $75 to $81 Camaro brake cable set with hardware. Now it's also an F body, so it should work on any F bodies. So it doesn't say disc or drum, but I would assume this is for drum brake. And here's my address where you sent it. I wrote on here. Let me zoom out. I mean, this is information you could use too. So it doesn't say it, but it should say for rear disc brake, 3 inches shorter than the drums. I'm assuming this is for the drums, and 9 inches longer on the passenger. 3 inches shorter driver, 9 inches longer passenger. Sheath. Everything else is fine. Now, since you couldn't find these, look, I'm partly guilty. I bought these in July, but I bought like 50 parts, and I just now got to this. So all I did is I opened it like the day I called you, and it didn't work. So then I went searching, and I found some on eBay, and I ordered them. So I'm just going to send these back. But I think this information I'm giving you is worth something, because this will tell you what is right and why it's right or wrong. And that's it. So if anybody ever calls you up and asks you, just have them do like I do. Just get a rubber hose, run it from where the sheaths end, and measure it. That's the easiest way. I mean, maybe there's a better way, but a rubber hose is flexible. It could be any size rubber hose. That's it. Something like, let me back out. I know I'm going to get in the way, I can't help it. But it goes together something like this. I can remember this. You got a brake, you got the brakes in the back. This piece is going up to the front. That goes up to the emergency brake. And you get these two pieces that goes something like this. This goes together like that. This goes together like that. And this is going to slip on here somewhere. I don't know, because again, I didn't have all the parts are missing. This is going to slip on here something like that. With threads. So when you pull the pellet, it's going to pull both cables at the same time. Where this goes on here, I don't know yet. I mean, it could go here. I mean, why is this here? Maybe it goes right there. Doesn't fit in there. So I don't know what that is. That might be where it rubs the frame, or the maybe it might hit the drive shaft. I don't know. But that's how it goes together. And then something has to hold this up. And I saw a picture. There's some kind of hook that hangs down off the frame. I think something holds this up. That did not come in this kit either. And not ever having seen how it goes together, I don't know. But I can make a hook. And lastly, I think I already said this. This rubber sleeve that they have on here, they probably just guessed. It's 16 inches long. I mean, that slides, and that's where it slips through the frame, and maybe it helps with the bend. I don't know. Here's the old one. Someone just cut them off. So this rubber was about the same length, 16. And again, to make this clear, these clips right here are what go here after it slips through the frame. That's the keeper. Just do a close up of that. I don't know that it matters. It does to me because I don't have all these parts. I can't make it. Might help somebody. That's how that looks. I could have took pictures, but I just didn't know how to explain it all. So one more time. Going from, we're gonna go from that end. To that end. To here. I don't know why that won't focus. Moving the camera. Trying to adjust it. That's how it looks. I don't know if me getting in the way is going to change the focus, so I'm going to try to stand out of the way. Just going to try to put the tape measure way out. Looks something like that. That's it. I'll post this on YouTube for anybody that's how. I'm pretty sure that's how the stock cable system looked. But again, I think most cars, they either break or people take them off, they throw them away. That's it.